Welcome back to DS Trucks. Today our mission is to weld our hitch here. So I'm gonna go to the shop, actually stop at Uncle Shanti's shop, and have the mechanic there weld up our bolts so that you can't just remove the hitch if you want to steal the trailer. But that being said, I've still got to do something about these top ones, but I'm thinking I might just weld on a different style. You know, that other style was better. This style's cool. I don't know if it's just rated better. I have to check and see if I can get that same other style with the channel style, if it can have the same rating as, or enough rating. I only need it to be 16K. So anyway, see you guys on the road. All right, in the F-250, and we've got a little bit of a long drive ahead of us, and we're going to be on the freeway. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset this trip computer MPG, and we'll see how it does. I mean, might as well kind of freebie here. Right now we're averaging 8 miles to the gallon for the last 129 miles, but could have sworn I reset one of these. I must not have reset this. So I'll reset 111 for this so we can have miles, time, and all that. But yeah, why not even, you know, I don't know, tell a little story here. I do want to tell the story, and I'll probably elaborate on this more later, but I want to tell the story of when I was a tire man. And I've been thinking about this because when you look at my F450, I've got those 19.5 inch commercial tires, and I've got the 17.5 inch commercial tires here on this dump trailer. And going with these tires, it makes it a little bit harder to service them, because a lot of tire techs, if you're used to changing tires on a car, you have to be a higher level tire tech. You have to know what you're doing in order to service these tires. The way that they mount is different from how a standard light duty truck tire or car tire mounts. They actually mount backwards compared to the commercial or compared to the light duty tires. The commercial tires mount backwards. And then sometimes with the commercial tires, they don't mount backwards, meaning you have to know which way the face of the tire is in order to get it to come on and off the rim. You can't take a tire off backwards. What you can, but it's a nightmare if you take it off the wrong way. You have to start the tire process, this tire removal process, coming off of the correct side of the tire. So with a commercial tire, correct me if I'm wrong, 'cause it's been a number of years, but with a commercial tire, I believe the valve stem points down. So that would be like a tire like on this semi truck that's passing us right here. The valve stem will face down in order for the tire to come off of the rim. And if you mix that up, then the tire will not come off of the rim. So the point is, when you want to go to just a regular tire shop, if they don't know how to mount tires, and typically these commercial tires, at least in my area, they're done by hand. So it's something that's done by hand, and it's a skill to mount a commercial tire by hand. If you don't go to a place that does that, if they're just using a tire machine, they might do it wrong. They might not have the tools available. They might not know that you're not supposed to plug these tires, because these tires, they're a lot thicker, they're a lot heavier. It's harder to get a plug to go through it. And I think if you tried to put a plug through one of these tires just straight up, I think it would break your tools. Like your tire plugging kit typically won't go through it, and it's just too hard to get the tire plug in there. And then furthermore, I think the air pressure is so high that for whatever reason they're just not recommended to be plugged, because you're pumping these tires up to like 100 psi, sometimes more. Sometimes on the semi trucks they're 125 psi, I believe, and all that pressure just might be too much for a plug, and they require patching from the inside out. So kind of interesting. This is something that I've done though. I've done commercial tire service when I was working at a trucking company, and that was a hard job, and I really grew to hate it. And it makes me realize that, you know, I shouldn't have done that. I think the reason that I grew to hate the job is because of the pay. I was making $10 an hour back in 2011. I was making $10 an hour to just maintain this fleet of trucks, and I had other jobs that I had to do as well. It's not like I was just a tire man. I had to maintain their fleet of trucks. They had 10 tractors, so basically 10 semi trucks, and they had like 13 or 14 trains. 13 and 14 trains. So that means a lead and a pup. That means a trailer pulling another trailer with a turntable and all that. And it was a tough job. You know, I was a young guy. I had no guidance as far as what I'm doing, very little guidance. And it makes me think about the first day of that job when I started. And the first day that I was working, the guy that was training me was a heroin addict, and he fell asleep underneath the gravel trains with the floor jack in his hand. Crazy time. Crazy experience, crazy situation. And it makes me think, like, the labor nowadays, the labor pool in the younger guys nowadays, and I'm sure this was going on back then, but how do you stay in a company when the first day when you work, the guy training you is so high on heroin that he falls asleep under the gravel trains? I'm learning how to jack up a truck for the first time, and my teacher is falling asleep high on heroin underneath the truck. And somehow you survive. Somehow you get through that. I trained with him. I'm just like, this is insane, but he does know how to mount these tires. He does know how to plug tires or fix tires, patch tires and all that. He knows everything. He is a master tire man, and they want me to learn how to do tires, and I need the job. I need to start my life. I need to get an apartment. I need to figure out how I'm going to pay bills and how I'm going to provide for myself, even though I didn't have a family. How am I going to provide for myself? How am I going to afford anything? So I stuck it out. And I learned from him, and I worked with him until he overdosed or whatever he did. He just started getting more high, and then he stopped coming to work for a while. Then 3-4 months later, he come back for a couple weeks, and then boom, he's gone again. So that's kind of how that worked out. But the point is, somehow I got through it. Somehow I prevailed and finished. But you see these young guys now, they never would be able to get through that. They never survive. They just, I don't know. They just, it's weird. I'll work with the guy now and try to train him, and not bringing all that baggage of heroin and drugs and all that. And then how many guys have I been through that just can't do it? So many guys that can't do it. And it's just, maybe I'm just one of the few that actually will do or learn. Or maybe I was one of the few at the time when I was a young guy just starting out in the field or whatever field it could be. I was just willing to learn. Maybe there's guys out there that are just willing to learn and I just haven't found them yet. But it's just a weird thing being like in charge or being the boss or whatever of something like a business or whatever. And then you become this, like, in the eyes of the workers that work for you or the people that work for you, they become so skeptical of you, like you're getting over, somehow you're getting over on them, or you become the man, you're the man now. It's like, it's like, no, man. I think in 2019, 2018, I did better with that. I had my crew working. We were doing lawn mowing half the time. And at that time, I was able to keep the guys relatively happy. I was able to keep them relatively happy by having them mow lawns half the time, and having and then they would do big bush trimming jobs, because I was noticing that the lawn mowing wasn't enough money. Like, these guys needed to be paid $15 an hour, some were making $18 an hour. And we go out and mow lawns, you get a $30 lawn, $35 lawn, $80 lawn, $90 lawn, whatever, and the money and the profit just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And it's unfortunate to say, but these people need to make that money, and you can't do it mowing lawns. So we only mowed lawns half the time, and then we would do other jobs bush trimming, removals, planting, whatever. We do those kinds of jobs. But what I did to keep everybody happy is I priced the jobs with enough to keep everybody paid. And I would price the jobs at $75 per hour per man. I would charge $75 an hour per man, and that would be the target. Didn't always hit it, but that's not how I sold the job. I didn't sell the job based on I'm gonna charge you $75 an hour. I didn't say that. That was kind of on the back end. I would say it if anybody asked, but I would just estimate how long the job would take, and I would aim for that 75 per man per hour. I knew what the guys that I would put on the job, I knew what they can do. I knew how long it would take them to do, roughly how long it would take them to do jobs, and I would set them up, and they would just do the jobs, and that would be that. A lot of times we hit that $75 an hour. Sometimes it would go down to $50 an hour. Sometimes it would be $85 an hour. But if it would go to like a really high number per hour, like if it was overestimated by a huge margin and I was going to make an unfair amount of money, which is almost impossible. Technically, it's impossible because I've agreed with the client. I'd make it right though. I'd make it right and do a little bit extra for that client. And a lot of times you'll be working and a client may come out and ask you for a little bit extra, and it's not even a big deal because we've already priced it right. But basically that's what we did. But what I did to keep the guys happy is I would throw everybody an extra 20. Everybody on the crew, if we can execute this job correctly, everybody's getting an extra 20. If it's a big enough job, an extra 40 per person. If we 3 guys on the job, everybody's getting an extra 40. And that way the guys were happy. You know, we do 2 of those a week. You get an extra $80 a week. Add that up at the end of the month, it comes out to a decent amount of money. A little cash bonus on the job. And that was how it worked. And the reason I think that worked is because it was almost like a commission. And it's something I need to get back into. But right now, I've just been doing the minimum jobs, just mowing lawns and just doing the basics. But anyway, we are on the freeway. We're 10 miles in. We're getting 9.8 miles to the gallon. And yeah, we're doing our thing. The truck's towing really good, and I'm having no issues. But I'm gonna pause this for a second, and I'll touch base with you guys when we get to the shop and get this all welded. See you guys in a minute. All right, here we are, welding up these bolts real quick. This is how it looks before, and we'll show you guys after.
Put anything in it yet?
Yeah, I put a little bit in it. I got backed up on my mowing, and I had to bag everything. So I just took this out. I filled the whole thing up in the nose with grass, and I threw a bunch of branches and stuff in there. But I didn't even. This one's rated kind of heavy. It's got heavier axles, commercial tires. Yeah, I could put it. The other one was a 14K, but it had.
You put that many on there too.
Yeah. So this you can put. It was a 14 foot. This one, 16 feet. I can put.
Anything.
Yeah, I can put quite a bit in there. A mini excavator.
Yep.
That's what I want to get. That's what I'm thinking I want to get next. The mini excavator.
Whitney came in.
Is that Whitney?
Yeah. Well, let me go talk to her.
All right. All right, and that's it, and that's that. All set and all done. But tire kits, tire guy, that's his setup. He's working on this. Brings back memories. But anyway, let's get back home. I know the old lady wants me home. See you guys back at the barn. All right, so we are back where we started. We drove 42 miles and got 10.1 miles to the gallon. Now, I will say this, the truck did great. Just 430 gears, towing on the highway, good mileage, great work truck, the old 6.2, tried and true. I mean, what can I say? Thing did great. The trailer, the brakes are breaking in. It's doing better and better every time I drive it. Now the brakes, I think, are completely broken. Just had a lot of fun, guys. Had a lot of fun. Glad I got this trailer. Really, this is what I wanted, 16 foot. And the 16K stuff is cool too. I really I actually ordered a 14K, but that's just an added upgrade. It costs a little more, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll go park the trailer, and maybe I'll show you guys all the locks and everything on the trailer. I am now welded up. I don't know if that's gonna need some touch-up paint or not. We'll see, but it's welded up real nice. It's probably just, yeah, it's good. I just gotta wipe that off. Next time I get it washed, that'll come off. So yeah, that's not coming off now. You're not gonna be able to put a hitch on this upper higher one and take off with the trailer. Nothing's gonna be high enough, I don't think. But then again, you never know. Maybe it is high enough. But that'll be next. That'll be the next level of security, is figuring out this. All a process here, figuring everything out. But anyway, I guess I will show you guys everything parked and locked up, and that'll conclude the video. See you guys back at the storage unit. All right, and that's it, and that's that. All chained up, hooked up, locked up. The Proven Industries lock is easy to put on. You just do it real quick, not an issue. Bolts are welded, not getting these off unless you cut these off, which is more noise and more time. Still got to figure out something with these upper holes. I'll probably end up, I don't know, doing something about that. And again, tires chained up. All 4 tires are chained up, wrapped around the springs. So, I mean, all this stuff is really just a deterrent, but hopefully this spot's going to be a little bit better with 24/7 security. There's semis all up in here, trailers all over. This place is pretty big. There's, like, you know, the big goosenecks for hotshot guys here. So yeah, they've got 24/7 security. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen, but anything's possible. Anyway, this is DS Trucks. My name is Sean. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along on the journey with me. See you guys in the next video. Over and out.